Hey, Coach Candice again, coming to you from the treadmill. It's Thursday, December 19th, and as of today, 113 days out from my race. The race is the old 6-day, but I'm doing the 24-hour option. So a little over 16 weeks till race day. And kind of something that's been on my mind today to chat about is just the idea of practice. Not enough people practice the finer details, or I don't know, I guess you could say the finer details of your race, but especially endurance racing, your fueling. Again, we can talk about how it applies to like your everyday nutrition as well. So something I'm trying to keep in mind now. There's a lot of questions on my mind for planning, for fueling for this event. Again, fueling enough for 24 hours of consistent activity, which again, not that I haven't done before in my previous ultra marathon experiences, but in this one, whoops, I'm on meters instead of miles. Whereas in the past, I always knew that I'd be walking at some point. I usually had a walk-run strategy, and this time, more of, I feel like wanting to find that pace and settle in and run as much as possible without stopping. So one of my elements of planning for this is to have a crew support me that can kind of bring the aid to me, such as bringing me snacks or refills on my water and electrolytes, versus me leaving the track to get those items. And so planning out my fueling to keep me going as much as possible to help increase the likelihood that I'll accomplish my goal. So with that, I've always walked and ate, so if I was going to be eating nutrition, or again, when it comes to Ironman on my bike, like there's different things that I would eat as I pedaled, but I've never jogged and tried to eat at the same time. One of my go-tos was often Jolly Ranchers, and we'll probably still go with that. One, they keep your mouth moist, and then two, a consistent flow of carbs for fueling. But I don't think I can do 24 hours of just eating only Jolly Ranchers. So today's going to be one of those sessions where I'm starting to practice eating while jogging, and that's something I'm going to start practicing as well on Sundays in my long run. I don't feel it's really necessary for my other shorter runs during the week, but we'll start practicing that now. And when it comes to fueling, again, wanting things that I actually enjoy eating somewhat, or for the most part. Like, one of the things I'll often go with is a Cliff Bar, but I don't fully enjoy those. I'll eat them if it's the only thing, and eat them because I know they have carbs. So I probably will still use them, but I don't really crave or enjoy them. So one, practicing with those different snacks to one, make sure it's not something I absolutely hate. Like I don't want my crew to bring me a snack and now I'm taking off trying to eat that and thinking like, man, this stuff is gross, and not wanting anything to do with it. But also wanting to be able to have variety, because in the moment, eventually you're kind of turned off to the idea of some foods, but yet knowing that your success is also dependent upon eating. So at some point you're kind of eating when you're not hungry because you can't afford to get behind nutritionally. My first ultra marathon attempt, I was eating for 100 miles. I made it 80. One of my go-tos that I took with me was oatmeal, Little Debbie oatmeal cream pies, and which I enjoy, one of my favorite things. So I had also stockpiled those for my second attempt, where I actually finished the 100, and then that 100 wanted nothing to do with them. So I had them there and available. They ate other things. So I like to have a variety of things that I enjoy, but also like to have options. So where I can say like, listen, get that away from me, not even remotely hungry for that. So I like to, again, know what things I like and don't like. And again, practicing for the little things. Still will have to plan for hydration, in that I'm expecting it to be cooler. Let's say, again, it's the Northeast. It could be beautiful and almost like summer, or it could be 20 degrees and snow. So planning for hydration when maybe I don't necessarily feel thirsty, and then maybe not sweating as much as I would in, say, July. So hence getting in some practice, running with my running belt, and getting in hydration on my run. But also got a snack pack today to see what it's like to run and eat. So, and also finding things that I won't choke on if I'm breathing heavier. So today's training session is 70 minutes total, 4.5 mile run, ideally without stopping. And each week I've been able to do it without stopping. I have moments along the way where I think about, maybe I'll walk a little bit. But then, in the moment, can't really find a reason to justify walking, so I just keep running. Anything like, I do glance at my pace from time to time just to see, but I'm not really trying to shoot for a certain pace, and just trying to see like, where can I settle in and be comfortable to just keep on going. Again, I wanted to talk about the idea of practice, and that can be carried over to so many other examples, especially with nutrition and planning in that sense. Right. Few people are planning for an ultra marathon or any other kind of endurance event. They're just practicing for everyday life. And so many people want a specific plan on what to do. Like many times people just want to be told what to do. But oftentimes, the best solution is guidelines and recommendations, but ultimately you need to practice doing that for yourself. And not everybody's schedule or desires is going to work for another person. So, like for example, there's a lot of guidelines and habits around endurance nutrition, but what works for me may not work for another person. I know, for example, a lot of people preach and use Gatorade goos, but like to me, I feel like they're gross. And I don't like the after effect in my mouth. So they are not a go-to choice for me. And I'd rather know what works for me or has worked for me versus trying something new on race day and find that I absolutely hate it. Training is where I sort out what works for me and what doesn't work for me. And each time I'm doing that, I'm gaining knowledge and experience so that even though I may go into that race with a plan, if said plan is not working as I hoped it would, I'm going to have that knowledge and experience to adjust on the fly. So for example, if I give you a meal plan and say, eat this, and let's say that food is not available, without you having practiced or experienced modifying on your own, then you're not in a place to make those decisions for yourself. And so, and it's also to know that like practice and training will not always go perfect. And you practicing your nutrition on your own is not always going to go perfect, but it's from those times where we learn how to make better decisions when we're on our own. So being okay and knowing that imperfect practice is just as helpful as perfect practice. So I feel like I learned just as much when the days that don't go well as those that do. And again, always reflecting back on it so that you can do better the next time. So my words of encouragement for you are to practice. Practice making lunch for yourself at work and knowing whether you felt satisfied with that meal or if you found yourself wanting to snack and overeat later on. Using data to know whether it was a good decision or not. So similarly, I could go back and kind of use my watch as a moderate guideline. Again, it's not a recommendation I usually make for people in their day-to-day to see what calories their watch told them they burned, because there's a lot of inaccuracy in it. But I will use my data to kind of give myself a starting point. So for example, if I do this workout today and it says I burned 400 calories, I'm probably going to use that to plan for at least every hour of running to try to consume 300, 400 calories. And then I'll take that into my training and plan to consume 300 to 400 calories during such events or practices or training sessions and see how I feel. And again, from there, it's constantly adjusting and tweaking to get me to where I feel my best. So similarly, my encouragement for you is like, practice the little things like, yeah, we talked about practicing meals, but using data. And again, that's where tracking comes in handy. It gives me something objective to know where I'm at and am I accomplishing my goals, and adjusting from there. But again, this coming weekend, it is not looking to be very warm. It's looking to be about a high of 20 when I get out to do my run. And to me, like, what if it's 20 on race day? I want the opportunity to have practice fueling, hydration, and dressing for that weather to see how I feel, instead of avoiding that experience. And I want to know, what can I learn from it? So again, whether that be for yourself, like, everybody waits for perfect conditions to do something or to work on something, but sometimes the most imperfect conditions for you to practice something that works out will help you way more in the long run than waiting for things to be perfect. So just show up and do something. I don't know. Again, that's probably a life lesson in itself, but I will cut it short now. Work on the rest of my workout here. Practice eating. I don't want to talk and eat. I can talk and run. But at this point, just about 1.5 miles in, so only 3 more miles to go. But thank you for joining me, and I'll probably do another one when I head out for training this Sunday. So take care and talk to you again soon.